All right, folks, it is Friday, uh, December the 19th. It's less than a week before Christmas and everything like that. But we do have a lot of news going on, including a recent poll that has AOC beating Vance in a presidential race. So, Representative Alexander Ocasio Cortez, Democrat New York, who is increasingly seen as a potential Democratic candidate for president in 2028, on Wednesday highlighted a poll showing her beating Vice President Vance in a hypothetical matchup. The poll from the Argument Verisite asked respondents what their voting preference would be if Vance and Ocasio Cortez were the candidates in the 2028 race, and 51% backed the New York Democrat, while 49% backed the Ohio Republican. Bloop. Ocasio Cortez responded to the poll on the social platform X. Both Ocasio Cortez and Vance have had their names floated for the 2028 presidential race, which will be the first post-Trump era race after President Trump reaches his constitutional limit for holding the office. The two millennial politicians have had mediocre rises within their parties, gaining a rapid amount of national attention and power within the last decade. Another recent poll found that Ocasio Cortez being at the front of the pack among younger Democrats for a hypothetical 2028 presidential primary. The Yale Youth poll found the New York Democrat with a lead in the double digits over former Vice President Kamala Harris, California Governor Gavin Newsom, and other possible candidates. Ocasio Cortez also recently drew massive crowds throughout the U.S. on a fighting oligarchy tour with Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont. So we'll see how this all plays out, but that is some good news that she got in the polls. But we know a lot of times the polls are way off and all along those lines. So we'll see what goes on in that space. With new EU loan, Ukraine avoids a budget crunch and can plan their war efforts. So Europe funnels billions to Ukraine, but wobbles geopolitically. So EU commits to $105 billion loan to Ukraine, but without those Russian assets. And Australia announced a gun buyback scheme in wake of the Bondi attack. So that's definitely something going on in that part of the world. And definitely, Australia Prime Minister announces that gun buyback plan day of reflection following the Bondi Beach shooting. And global experts say most Palestinians in Gaza face major difficulties accessing food. So UN-backed experts say Gaza food supplies improving, but 100,000 are still in catastrophic need. So Gaza no longer in famine after aid access improves, Hunger Monitor says, but they are saying the spread of the Gaza famine has been averted, yet Strip still faces starvation, experts are saying. And riots erupt in Bangladesh after the killing of a student leader. Mass protests in Bangladesh demanding justice after a top youth leader dies. So Bangladesh newspaper staff gasping for air as offices are set ablaze. Sharif Osman Hadi, Bangladesh racked by unrest over the death of the student leader. And we've definitely heard Sharif talking about that over here on this network as well. Youngest Bondi Beach shooting victim mourned as Texas rabbi recovers. So a sunrise crowd gathered at Bondi Beach in solace and defiance after a massacre. Thousands at Bondi Beach formed Heart in the Water in tribute to shooting victims. So that's definitely something going on there. And EU Mercosur trade deal signing delayed as Italy demands more time. EU's von der Leyen says green light for Mercosur deal of enormous importance, and Brazil threatens to abandon Mercosur EU deal in Italy. France is seeking a delay. So definitely there's a lot of political gamemanship going on in that particular deal as well. Japan expects Finland to act over offensive slant eye posts. So Finland apologizes to China, Japan, and South Korea for the racist gesture. Miss Finland's viral slant-eyed photos steers racism firestorm, and definitely the Finland Prime Minister has apologized. Cambodia counts the cost of its border war with Thailand. So, from hospital beds, Cambodian soldiers describe toxic gas. Thailand demands a unilateral ceasefire announcement from Cambodia and civilians at risk amid escalating Thailand Cambodia conflict. And baby Muhammad freezes to death as Gaza battles winter and displacement. UN aid group warns Gaza operations at risk from Israel impediments. So heavy rain, compound dire conditions of displaced Gazians, UN warns. And Japan reaffirms its no nukes pledge after official floats weapons idea. Japan should have nuclear weapons, an official reportedly says, but Japan is reaffirming its non-nuclear stance after officials' nuclear weapon remarks. So it looks like they're trying to stay in the camp of those that do not have nuclear weapons. And the EU to slash asylum cases from 7 nations deemed safe. So migration in Europe, security versus solidarity. So MEPs clash in the ring. Safe third country, Council and European Parliament agree on new EU law restricting admissibility of asylum claims. So asylum is a part of what's going on in Europe as well. Trump's expanded travel ban hits Africa the hardest, but reactions are muted. Trump expands travel ban and restrictions to include an additional 20 countries. New ban bars 1 in 5 illegal immigrants, even citizen spouses and kids. U.S. adds 2 Caribbean countries to its travel ban. And a German man was found guilty of drugging, raping, and filming his wife for years. And Benjamin Netanyahu approves a 35 billion Israel-Egypt gas deal. So definitely that's something that folks have been talking about in the news for a few days as well. Let's get to some U.S. news, then I'll bring in who I've got with me and all along those lines and see what they've got on their mind. Brown University shooting suspect was found dead. So a Reddit post led to a breakthrough in the Brown shooting investigation. Authorities say suspect's motive remained unclear in the Brown Brookline shooting. So Claudio Manuel Neves Valentin, identified as the Brown University and MIT shooting suspect, was found dead. And after years of speculation, the DOJ faces a Friday deadline to release the remaining Epstein files. Frustrations mount at Justice Department as it races to redact some Epstein files, sources say. Blanche says DOJ won't release the full Epstein files to Congress by Friday deadline. So definitely that's something that people are talking about as well. And Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Duggan is on trial for obstruction. So she's been found guilty of felony obstruction and all in that space. Judge convicted obstruction agents as they sought undocumented immigrant. And Trump suspends the green card lottery program after the shooting. So Nome says Brown shooting suspect got U.S. visa through diversity lottery and announces a pause to the program. So there's a pause to the program after that particular shooting. And Putin tells his annual news conference that the Kremlin's military goals will be achieved. Putin boasting of frontline wins, says Russia's goals in Ukraine are unchanged. Putin says Europe out of step with increasingly Moscow-friendly U.S. So he's thinking that the U.S. is more Moscow-friendly and all along those lines. And several $1 billion were lost to fraud in Minnesota, prosecutor says. Feds say the fraud total could top $9 billion. So definitely that's something going on as well. And there's a dangerous fire situation looming for part of Colorado's Front Range as they are definitely facing some more heavy winds and things along those lines. So Xcel plans to shut off on Friday amid efforts to restore power to tens of thousands of customers. So that's what's going on in Colorado. But I'm going to bring on Sasha Starr and also bring on Dr. Sharif. We did see that the gentleman did pass away and everything like that. So how are things going? I know we've got the Ukraine, Russia, China show going on later on, and you did get Ukraine to get a bunch of money, so I'm sure y'all will be talking about that. And I don't know if there's any other news story that you got in your mind. I know Sharif will probably want to talk about the loss of the student because it does look like he passed away.
On Russia, Ukraine, the talks, peace talks, if you wish, to me, they are nothing but talks. It's like a little show, which fills the news. A lot of people are following it. It's there are interviews in the media and so on. So there is some mileage being mined out of it. So that's good for people who are involved in it. For majority of people, for majority of Ukrainians, it's nothing. What is important for Ukrainians is that European Union will supply 90 billion
Mhm.
in help to Ukraine. That's what's important. All this talks about, okay, Donbass is a little bit, you go here and you go there and you try this and you try this. It doesn't, it's a noise, really. It's a lot of noise. So Ukraine has to rely on its European partners, defend itself, don't listen to all this noise from uh, Russia and US, the other the talks. It's nothing. It's a waste of time. It's a distraction. It's a major distraction for Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian commanders. Zelensky himself, they're spending so much time flying back and forth, talking, giving interview. But you know what? Maybe we don't know all things. So maybe there are some
Hmm.
reason for these negotiations to continue. Okay, let it be.
Yeah, it might be. By the way, they're saying that Jack Smith's lawyer has asked Jordan in the Congress for open hearings after closed door testimony. And Jack Smith tells Congress that he could prove Trump engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the 2020 election. And apparently, he didn't. Jack Smith didn't invoke the Fifth Amendment during 8 hours of testimony, according to what the GOP committee chairman says. So maybe there's a smoking gun out there in terms of Trump being in trouble and getting impeached and all along those lines, because that it does sound like they've got evidence against him from 2020. So do you think that there's anything to this, or do you think there's just a lot of noise?
No, I think that, Trump will definitely will end at some point will end up in jail. Impeachment, that if there will be impeachment, there will be several impeachments altogether. I don't know where you start with. But even without impeachment, there is enough legal proceedings against Trump, and at least some of it, if not all, will be successful. So even if he's insulated from jail while he's a president, but we don't know how long he will be a president. Maybe he will be removed from the post of president through Article 25 because he's incapable to conduct his duties as the president of the United States. And it's clearly now, it shows that he's incapable, whether it's on domestic policies or international policies. It's a flop after flop. It's a complete disaster. There is, except immigration, you can't call even one positive things, whether domestically or internationally, that Trump ever did.
Yep, that makes sense and everything. Hey, Jacoby, and I see you joined us as well. I opened up earlier today, speaking of the president, with these polls that are having AOC ahead. I know that Nancy Pelosi, and I meant to get that out on some of our earlier news stories and everything like that, had said that she doesn't think that there'll be a woman president anytime soon. Thinking that there's more than a glass ceiling, that it's even more difficult to crack than a glass ceiling, and all along those lines. So she's not expecting AOC or anybody else to win, but she is ahead of JD Vance. And maybe to Sasha's point, if JD Vance is nervous about AOC or any of the other candidates, maybe he will invoke Article 25 to become president and be running as an incumbent versus running as a candidate or a vice president and everything like that. So, what's your take on AOC's chances? So, apparently, she's winning in some polls.
I agree with Michelle Obama, who said, this country is not ready for a female president. It's sad, but that's the reality of the situation. If you look at what has taken place with some of the responses from the exit polling to some of the discussions around why people voted for, a lot of it deals with misogyny. We still have a lot of problems with that in this country. I mean, women are still paid less. Women are treated poorly in the tech industry. Doesn't matter what it is. That's just a sad reality. I mean, we lucked out at getting a black president. I mean, it's going to be tough to even have that again. It's just the way our country is right now, and we are in the death rattles of a lot of issues. And Trump gave it a megaphone, a boost of confidence. That's why a lot of people came out of the woodworks. And I hate to say it that way. Not all MAGA are racist, but yes, not all. If you want to look for a Confederate battle flag, what does the Confederate battle flag stand for? I mean, they don't need the argument around it. I mean, that's where it flies, and it's just, again, there's a lot of bad stuff that it still has to be overcome in this country, and we just have to be honest about it. And I mean, Dr. Sharif, who is in another country, has pointed this out. So at some point, we have to be able to listen and just be honest and be able to confront that. Because if we're going to take on that issue, dealing with Islamophobia, dealing with racism, dealing with misogyny, dealing with all these things, we got to just be honest about it. And yes, so yeah, even though AOC is leading against JD Vance, a lot of people are going to be leading against JD Vance. The couch is leading against JD Vance. But, you know, we have to just be honest that it would be tough. Sadly, even though there were two of the most qualified people we had run for president were two women. What ended up happening? Why did people vote against them? A lot of issues came down to not only race but gender, and people just didn't vote for a woman president, and it's sad because they were just so highly qualified.
Yeah, that's real true and everything. The other story I was going to get to, and I know Dr. Sharif probably wants to give honor to his friend that lost his life and everything like that. But what are our thoughts around the whole thing around the U.S. strikes? Because apparently we struck some more boats this time in the Pacific and everything like that. And of course, this is raising legal and evidentiary questions against a militarized drug war. So what is our take on that? Because apparently even 2 days ago, they announced that they had killed 4 in their 26th boat strike. So whether it's in the Pacific or whether it's in the Atlantic, there are all these boat strikes that are supposedly killing drug lords, even though there hasn't been any evidence of that I have seen that they were even carrying drugs. So what's our take on this?
He pardoned a drug lord. So the boat strikes, I mean, it's illegal. It's blood for war, and blood for oil. We're back to that again. Everything that they've used, weapons of mass destruction, all this, blah, blah, blah. The Daily Show did a great mashup showing it's the same phrasing. And then even worse, we're doing the same thing Russia is doing to Ukraine. We're about to do that same exact thing. Russia is talking about taking land. What did Donald Trump say the other day talking about give us back the land? What land did Venezuela steal? It's the same comments. So yeah, we're playing, and that's, I think, in all honesty, that was probably one of the biggest problems with the Russian-Ukraine war, especially with Trump in office. Not only is he a puppet for Putin, or he just allows Putin to do whatever he wants to, but that opens the door for us to do the exact same thing, and that's what we're planning, or that's what he's planning on doing with Venezuela.
Yeah, hey Sasha, along those same lines, I did see that Putin, I guess doing his annual talk and everything, has said that he has a friend in the U.S. I guess he's referring to Trump and some of the other congressmen, and that Europe needs to follow more in their footstep and less in the U.S. footsteps. So what is your take on this relationship between Putin and Trump? Because even Putin is like saying that he's got a friend in the U.S.
Well, Trump is interested in a weak Europe that he can run, manipulate, and do anything what he wants. And Putin, in that respect, is a very good ally for Trump to attack Europe, even militarily, if needed. I don't think it's quite possible, while Ukraine is still fighting. If Ukraine somehow will cease its fighting through either peace or being defeated, then Europe is in real danger, and Trump is not going to help Europe. He is more likely to help Putin. What Trump's position about Europe is this. world is moving toward autocratic regimes. They're more efficient, they're much better than democracy. And in Europe is the last bastion of democracy in the world. If there wouldn't be for Europe, all world would become autocratic and very quickly. So what's happened in Europe is Trump and Putin, they are supporting all kind of fringe, fascist, anti-democratic movements, trying to topple the elected governments in UK, France, Germany, and almost all other countries. And therefore, their positions are aligned. Now, look at this money that Russia got stuck in Europe. They've been now arrested. And what Europe wanted to do is to use this money as a reparation credit. So they wouldn't touch the money itself, but they would guarantee reparation credit to Ukraine. And we're talking about, say, give or take quarter of $1 trillion rather. And Ukraine would have to repay it, but only when Russia will take care of its punitive reparation payments to Ukraine for its aggression. And United States, believe it or not, was 100% against it. Why? Why they would be against it? Because from this money, Europe would use, or Ukraine, to buy American weapons. So it's a win-win for America. It's a no-brainer. Apparently not. Trump wants to get his hands on this $250 billion and then ask Europe to put even more money into it. And then he would have some kind of a vehicle, financial vehicle, which would take care of repairing not only Ukraine, but also, guess who? Russia. So this is a game Trump is playing on international. This is lunacy. It's a tragedy. It's a completely incredible situation, my friend.
Yeah, that's just crazy and everything. Speaking of things that are crazy and all along those lines, I know he's got a member of the Kennedy family in his cabinet and everything, but apparently the Trump handpicked board has voted to rename the Performing Arts Center the Trump Kennedy Center. So is everything going to be named after Trump in the U.S. and everything? Because definitely it looks like the board has voted for a name change that would require an act of Congress. So Congress does have to pass this and all along those lines. So Congress does have a lot of yes men. So maybe they will pass it or maybe they'll push back. But he does want to add his own name to the Kennedy Center. So what's our take on this? Are we just going to have everything, like maybe every stadium and every highway and everything else named after Trump eventually? So is Trump just going to have his name on all things? Because apparently he wants his name on the Kennedy Center. What's your take on this, Jacoby? Or, yeah, go ahead, Jacoby.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's his plan. He's an egomaniac. It's all about Trump. Everything is all about Trump.
Wow. It's all about Trump. So we're going to have the Trump highways and the Trump bridges and the Trump this and the Trump that too. But that's just scary and everything like that. Dr. Sharif, I know you're joining us today, and I know that I did mention that the gentleman, the youth leader, had passed away. So I don't know what else is going on in Bangladesh, but it does seem like there's a lot of sadness around that. So if you want to share what you've got going on, we definitely want to hear from you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Basically, I want to share some important aspect of media because I think I start working for media. Definitely, Professor Nick Palveda, he inspired me in 2020, right? Our initiative started in 2020.
Yes.
Before that, I was television debate champion in ATN Bangla in Bangladesh. I attend in Bangladesh televisions as a debater. I attend in World Debating Championship or Oxford Ivy, Cambridge Ivy. That is my media related experience. I do not have a very professional experience from media. But when Mr. Nick Palveda actually inspired me to develop this World Talent Economic Forums or these shows and something. I started these things. But one thing I learned from my last 15 years of experience that ethics, working for the peoples, for my research and innovations things, I identify the youth are the most productive group of peoples in this world, and they want to change this world with the help of modern science, engineering, and technology. So I do dedicate my activities through my World Talent Economic Forum, definitely online with podcast, and offline with my academic activities around the world. I do work in Malaysia, in Australia, in Africa, in India, in Bangladesh, in USA, Canada, or in Europe. Uh, but one thing I just want to share with you, because today my friend, Mr. Osman Hadi, his name also Sharif Osman Hadi, he died in Singapore. And we are very sad because how youth want to build up their ethical society. We are getting hurt by the powerful people, corrupted politician, and all of the big countries. Even though India go with a propaganda that it's one kind of Islamophobia, because millions of people come to the road in Bangladesh. They are actually protecting these things, because the killer, he killed Mr. Hadi in Bangladesh and he ran away in India. And in geographically India, actually cover our whole border and everything. But question for me about this ethical misinformation and disinformations. If you see right now the Indian media, many, I do not want to say everyone, I see the Western world media, Al Jazeera, they are bringing the good news, but there are a lot of media. Uh, they are coming with the propaganda, misinformation, disinformations, wrong informations, false information that uh, uh, Islamophobia or fundamentalist grow in Bangladesh. So all of you here, including Markley, you are a very professional producer, that misinformation and disinformation is a very big problem, right? Even in social media, many people bring a lot of wrong informations. Even in the war in between Russia and Ukraine, we saw that misinformation, disinformation happening. Also, even the recently in Australia, many people try to kill the Jewish peoples, and we see that we love to market hate. We love to sell hate. I always say that it's easy to market hate. Why Hadi killed? Because he is trying to protect his country. He is a real patriotic hero for our country. He That's why I developed this talent economy, right? This talent economy for the youth, for the ethical society. We want to create a society where ethics is important. So media is a very important player for developing an ethical society. I believe Sasha, Jatovi, Markley, Nick Palveda, Pot TV, all of the peoples, you are producing right kind of informations, ethical informations for the betterment of the society. On the other hand, yes, this is true. People actually destroying two media. One is Prothomalo, another one is Daily Star, because they have a doubt that this kind of media always they supporting this Indian narrative. So why I'm discussing this point? Because this is the right for every human. Example, Sasha bring the idea how he can protect his Ukraine, right? He has this right. Also he has right to protect the Jewish community, right? And the same way, any religions, maybe me and Jatovi, we have a different skin color, right? We have the right to protect ourselves. So I do not know why these powerful communities, why those who have money and political power and everything, They do not want change. They do not understand the power of youth. Even when I see Jatovi bring all of the discussions and frustrations of the US country, US economy, US culture, I understand. But what is the difference? Let's say in USA, Mamdani want to change New York or want to take responsibility of his community, but people support him. Maybe many people actually trying to threat him. Powerful people bring money against him for the elections, but he win. That is the beauty of Western world. On the other hand, if you see this Bangladesh, our problem, like if someone has a real voice like Hadi, someone has a real credibility like talent economy, someone has real contribution, they want to kill these people, right? That is the problem. But in that situations, when media come with the misinformations and disinformations, media run behind propaganda and media do all of the wrong things. So where people will go? How people will get justice? How people can raise their voice? That's why all of the people in Bangladesh, because our heart, because last 7 years, I think you know me or you people know me, is I do all of the hard works, not only for this media. Last 15 years, I visited around the world and I'm trying to protect the youth communities. Maybe they are from Israel, maybe they are from USA, or maybe they are from Africa, or they are from Bangladesh. With my limited capacity, I try to help. But media, when they are representing the huge community, media, when they are like a mirror of the society, they have to share the true. And I request through this program, the Indian media, those who are developing negative narrative against Bangladesh, that's the Islamophobia happening or this fundamentalism is happening, you are completely wrong. I request all of the media person through this program, bring the real story, do not sell yourself for money, and bring the real thoughts. Hadi was a great man. He loved his country and he sacrificed his life. So we have to protect our country. Thank you.
No, no problem. Very powerful statement and everything like that. Hey, Toby, one of the things you talk about oftentimes is, and Dr. Sharif was kind of alluding to it and everything, was honesty and honesty in reporting. And we can definitely see where there have been people that have spread rumors. I mean, we're seeing some, whether it's factual or not, even in our local politics and all along those lines. And we're seeing it even in Ukraine, because there were all kinds of rumors about, and some of them may have been based on fact, some maybe not based on fact, about Zelensky's background, not just his television background, but maybe even some of his political background and everything like that. So to Dr. Sharif's point of view, what can we do to curtail some of the rumors that are circulated that might only be in the rumor mill? Now, some of them may come out to be factual, even like what's going on with our Durham mayor and everything like that. But for right now, it's rumor. So how can we actually curtail some of these rumors that are spread through social media?
I mean, that's a very complex question, more so than an easy question, especially when you put it in the firestorm or the giant ethos that's out there. Combating any type of misinformation or disinformation, yeah, you do have to have an open discussion about it, and you got to put it out publicly. But the problem is, because people choose sides and then want to believe, and it's hard to crack through that wall once they've chosen a side, to get through and convince people and tell people the truth. People like to believe what they believe, and they like the lie sometimes. That's what happened. That's why a lot of people fell in love with Trump. They liked the lie. They didn't like the truth. It's he propagated a lot of conspiracies because he felt that made those individuals feel like their concerns were true. A lot of people, what is called is confirmation bias. That's what people are looking for right now. It's confirmation bias. And honestly, Dr. Sharif, you're where I am. Everything you said, I felt everything you said. And your question that you asked at the very start, when you said, why do the powerful and the rich not want change? That answers the question within itself. And that's one of those, I think it's a battle within multiple communities here, or been a battle for multiple communities here, because when people are fighting for equality and equity, those who are already on top, equality feels like you're losing something. So if Mark has all this money and has all this power, and the only reason he has all this money and power is just the position that he holds, but everybody else wants to have that equality and be able to make that choice. Once we get that opportunity, and now it's a 25%, everybody on this panel gets 25% of a choice. Mark feels like he's lost his power, because he now has the same opportunity as you have, and you have the same opportunity that he has, that equality. So he doesn't want that change, because he wants to be able to do whatever he wants to do. It doesn't matter about you. We've gotten into a society and our way of life that forgets about the other man or the other woman or the other person as, hey, look, I want them to succeed just as much as I did succeed. We used to have the old adage, it takes a village. It's not about a village anymore. Everybody's forgotten about that. Everybody wants, hey, what's mine is mine. It's always going to be mine. If you want some of mine, we're going to have to fight. No, it shouldn't be that way. It takes a village to raise a child. Let's realize that village is always there. We got to work as a community. We got to make sure that child does what's best for the next generation and continue to build those bridges and make those giant buildings and make that technological improvements and continue to build in that way. Or else, as a society, we become a small arms race with the neighbors.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that way. But that's why that's why that choice is there. That's why the powerful don't want change. Because when that change happens, they feel like they lose something. They don't realize that they gain a lot more than they lose.
Yeah, Sasha, along those same lines, and you follow investment and business news and everything like that. And even to Jacoby's point, I do remember the old adage that once you made it to the top, you were supposed to reach back and try to help others to make it up to the top as well. I don't know that I hear or even see that as much as it was encouraged, say, back in the 70s and even to some degree of the 60s and other generations. I might even go back to what some people called a very capitalistic decade of the 80s and everything like that. But I don't see a lot of leaders that are of wealth reaching back to try to help others and everything. And then you get that kind of the crab in the barrel mentality and everything like that. So I just wanted your take on that, because there was an adage, and you used to hear even some of our tycoons like the Rockefellers and others that reach back to help others make it, maybe not make it to their level, but at least reach up to a higher level. And I'm not even hearing that from the politicians. Just we're having a whole fight over healthcare, and y'all have apparently wonderful healthcare in Canada and everything like that. So what is your take on that? Are we having more selfish people?
Yeah, it's a complicated issue. Let's start first of all why, as Dr. Sharif suggested, that rich and powerful people are not sharing their power and or cling to their power. That's a very simple question, in fact. The reason is that the system that makes them rich and powerful, they won't retain that system. They don't want to change that system, because the systems that made them rich and powerful, if changed somewhat, so their richness and power could be in jeopardy. Why would they do it? No, they're not going to do it at all. And if you remember the work of Karl Marx by the name Das Kapital, and he very clearly shows there that the capital is a foundation of the rule of the capitalism. And nobody in his right mind is going to change or adjust or cancel that rule, because it will reflect on their power and their richness. And so they're not going to do it. Now, the question is even more complicated today because of the development of sciences, high tech, and so on. They made a lot of people basically, should I say, redundant or close to that, because they will not be able to acquire that knowledge and this experience that they required for being successful in the age of internet, high tech, artificial intelligence, and so on and on and on. So the more and more masses of people will not be able meaningfully participate in all these developments. So this is why super rich multi-billionaires like Thiel, like Musk, many others, they are on the untouchable height where simple people cannot do anything against them or for them or just nothing. They live in different universe, and the rest of the people live in their own universe. And don't try to build artificial bridges that would be nice if these people over there will help people over there, and it would be beautiful world living in harmony and everybody loves each other. I'm sorry, guys, leave it for somebody else, not for me.
Well, anything like that. Hey, Toby, do we not follow other people's, other countries' laws or understand what we're stepping into when we go to countries and things like that? Because I just was glancing down and I saw that just like Brittany Grimer was arrested and spent time in Russia for carrying, I think it was cannabis or some cannabis items. Apparently, Wiz Khalifa has been sentenced to 9 months in prison in Romania for weed possession. So basically, just basic marijuana. It looks like, but he'll be spending 9 months. So I'm thinking that as a international star, he should know the rules of the places that he's going and everything like that. So do we not follow and study the rules of where we're traveling to as these some of these celebrities?
I mean, they, I think Brittany Griner had medical marijuana.
I think it was
Wiz Khalifa maybe had recreational. But I mean, when you're traveling in the U.S. and you're not, I mean, it's just a habit thing, and so I'm sure that they went over and. I don't want to defend Wiz Khalifa. He could have forgotten. He could have just had it recreationally and was doing it.
Right.
I don't know the whole story behind the situation, but I think people, for the most part, do. And sometimes, like in the case of Brittany Griner, it becomes more or less a bargaining chip because Russia has been known to basically abduct people, use them as bargaining chips. Sasha can tell you all about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their MO. So, yeah, I mean, even Romania might be doing this a similar situation, but I mean, especially because you have a rapper, Wiz Khalifa. I don't know if he backed Trump or not, but I know there were a few rappers that did. Hey, if Trump is transactional, everybody start begging for Wiz Khalifa to be released, and guess what? Romania gets whatever it wants.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that could be the case. Romania might get whatever it wants just because of what's going on in that particular situation. And definitely that could be a manipulation tool in that sense and all along those lines. So there's no telling what will happen in that regards. But yeah, I just saw that come across my news feed and was like, wait a minute, are we supposed to know better? And all along those lines. Is AI going to be a continual big story in 2026? Because, you know, we've only got a few more days in 2025 and everything like that. And I know some people are still concerned about the future of AI. Dr. Sharif has been talking about it on his shows and everything like that. So how will AI impact us and all along those lines?
When you discuss about AI, actually, you have to understand I'm in favor of human wisdom. It's my understanding, it's my research and research outcome about AI. AI, definitely, lot of big company investing in AI. Lot of good company, they are trying to improving the AI. Even some of the company discussing about AGI, still it's not happening. But fact is that the human wisdom, will play a major role for the social and emotional improvement. Let's say I discuss about my friend Hadi and his death, right? How he creating impact with 179 1 million peoples. That is very important with his wisdom, with his knowledge, with his honesty. And we understand he do not go for any political party. He build up his own thought process, own philosophy in between short period of time, and he created a positive impact. Honestly speaking, AI cannot do that. Human is human. Let's say Sasha has wisdom, you have your own wisdom, Jatovi has. We have to trust human, as well as we have to develop a society based on ethics where wise people can contribute, not only these political and corrupted peoples will play as a leader. We want a society where ethical person, where a good leader who loves people, who want to contribute for peoples, who want to take care of the healthcare, educations, housing, good transportations, all of the basic need of the peoples. We want that kind of leader. Honestly speaking, AI cannot. AI, yes, in some point they make our work very productive. In some point, let's say I have to finish my PhD for around 3 years to write a thesis. Maybe AI can write another thesis in 12 months. But fact is that human wisdom is playing a major role. That's why we are working with Kokoro, this wisdom app, and we want to play. But definitely, I always want to welcome modern science, engineering, and technology. Let's say through the social media. We are from 4 different places. We come together. We are discussing. We are sharing our knowledge. This is very, very valuable. Technological improvement is very important. Artificial intelligence improvement is very important, but we should respect our human capacity, and human always play major role with their wisdom, with their ethical value, with their knowledge, and with their contributions. Impact is very important. Impact, let's say a rich people, he lives around 80, 90 years, he make billions of dollars, but he do not have enough impact for the society. On the other hand, let's say someone only live 30 years like Hadi, and in 30 years he inspire whole community, whole country, whole world. That is called a positive impact. So technology, it will move forward, human will move forward, but every century, the more wise people will come, more good leaders will come, more people will come, and they will develop their own society. So I always respect Jatovi's debate with Nick. I always respect Sasha intellectual communities or discussion. I always respect Mark ethical like productions of this media related like podcast. But definitely we have to trust people, we have to build up our community, we have to continue our work. AI definitely like a tool, but human always play a major role for the development. That is my thought.
Okay. Well, speaking of humans and all along those lines and in that space, we know that healthcare has been a topic and it's definitely been a topic here on this network for months and years and everything like that. But in January, which is just around the corner and everything, millions of Americans who use the Affordable Care Act to get their health insurance will face higher monthly premiums, and many are saying that they can't afford it. So definitely, it looks like it's going to be expiring, and if they chose to go without coverage, a lot of people will be not able to get the hospital care or the doctor care that they need and everything like that. So I just wanted to know y'all's thoughts around this impact, because it could have some serious impact on even the nation's economy and everything like that. So I know, Jacoby, you've got friends and relatives that work in the medical field. I know Sasha probably does, as does Dr. Sharif, and I do as well. So what is our take on what's going on with the impact in the U.S. of not having insurance? Because it looks like a lot of people, millions, are about to lose their insurance.
I mean, I don't know who wants to start first.
You go first, Jacoby.
Let me see. It's basically going to crater our healthcare industry. I mean, you got people that are now going to start uh, utilizing um, the emergency rooms for healthcare now. You're going to have a lot of people that went to their doctor on a regular visit, and you go from different stages of curable cancers to now they're finding that they're not only going to the doctor to find out that they have uncurable. So now they can't, get that early detection set up. So now you're going to have a crisis where people are using a lot more money for these cancer treatments. You're going to have a lot more death that's going to pick up. Take, for example, one of our biggest problems right now. What is the number one killer of, well, they say the number one thing that is killing kids right now? Guns. We still have a gun epidemic in this country. It weighs heavily on the healthcare industry. Now, you're going to have a ton of people that may end up on the healthcare or in the emergency room with no way to pay for a gunshot wound. So it's just our healthcare industry is going to crater. There's everybody's going to get hit with skyrocketing prices because the way healthcare works. You have the more people in the pool, the cheaper the price it becomes. Well, now there are going to be less people in the pool, so the price is going to go up on everybody. So yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. The Republicans and Trump, they really don't care. And I mean, they're all situated. They're all rich people. They're billionaires in the cabinet. We're run by oligarchs. We have an oligarchy going on right now. But yeah, it's going to crater. It's going to crater our healthcare system next year. And then this whole idea, we're going to give people $15,000. That doesn't cover anybody's healthcare. It just doesn't. Even worse, he's going to try and pull it from somewhere else, saying the tariffs did it. Just like when he lied about the bonuses for the warrior benefits. They just pulled it from a different pension plan. And even worse, that's now going to hurt. That they're robbing Peter to pay Paul to lie about everything. It's just horrible.
Yep. Sasha?
I'm as a Canadian, I feel very uncomfortable to comment on this American health insurance problems and so on because, I'll give you just my example. Recently, I had to attend pain clinic, and there was a very, very sophisticated substance which we used for the needle. The doctor, he had dozens of years of training and highly specialized professional. And all I had that available to me for a nominal cost of $4.11, which is the cost of the needle itself. That's all what I had to pay. In the United States, I probably would be exposed to $20,000 or more. And even if you're insured, from what I understand in the United States, you have deductible. Mm-hmm. And deductible alone could be a substantial amount of money too. So if you have example of Canada, and it's not something new, it's been around for dozens and dozens of years, same as in Europe or so on. Why wouldn't America to do something similar? Or they can go even from state to state, like in Canada, insurance is a provincial, health insurance is a provincial matter. So Ontario has its own insurance plan, Quebec its own, and British Columbia, and so on and on. But they're very similar, and effectively, even if I would be visiting British Columbia with my Ontario insurance plan, I would be eligible to receive any help, whatever I need, in British Columbia or any other province anyway. So there is an example, and I don't understand why US at least wouldn't try something like this. It would eliminate insurance companies. It would be just doctors, nurses, and all hospitals available to all citizens. And the states would collect some nominal payment, or it would be built in the tax system, so they would raise their taxes, but they would raise taxes for everybody. So that would be universal, eligible system available for everyone, and there would be no such situation when somebody cannot afford essential medical care, in my opinion.
Yeah, they should do better with the medical care. I mean, that's part of what Obama was trying to do, but then the Republicans are trying to squash that, but they haven't come up with a plan of their own. I think they had a concept of a plan, is what it was discussed in the debates way back when, and we haven't still heard the concept, have we, Jacoby? So I'm still waiting for what the concept is of the plan. So it sounds like it's a concept of a plan that doesn't have a concept.
Exactly. They don't have a plan. There is no plan. It's a good talking point, but there is no plan. Never has been. They just want to dismantle it. They want to take it away. Because, yeah, like I said, there is no plan.
No plan at all and everything like that. But we're going to wrap up. You've got Jonathan in the other room and everything like that. And I know we got discussions about Russia, Ukraine, and China may be involved in this discussion as well. So I don't know if you want to give people a tease as to what they can expect with you and Jonathan, because I'm in the other room and I see that he's there as well. So what can we expect in a few minutes? You just want to let folks know what you'll be primarily discussing, maybe in a minute or two.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you.
Sounds good. So on that note, we're going to get on out of here. He'll have that discussion. He didn't answer the question, but that's okay. But we'll get ready to get on out of here, and we'll have the Russia, Ukraine, China show. We've got other shows coming up, including the Good Ship Happens, which is about the cruise industry, and a new show, the Butterfly Room, that will be starting this evening, and everything like that. So looking forward to catching you. Maybe not over the weekend, maybe over the weekend, because we've got Black Santa Claus over at Hayti and everything like that. So maybe your kids will come over there and check him out. But right now, we're going to get on out of here. And if I don't see you over the weekend, I'll definitely catch you on Monday. I'll probably be doing the shows because of Black Santa Claus Monday through Wednesday from Hayti. But right now, let's get on out of here. So I'll catch you on Monday if I don't catch you this weekend.
All right.
Peace.